All right. I was planning on doing this a little bit earlier in the day, but I got caught up with some stuff and some back and forths and shenanigans and whatnot. I'll start this off by addressing the not elephant in the room, but kind of the goofiest part of what's happened this week. So, on either Tuesday or Wednesday, I was made aware of the fact that Super Chat had been disabled on the channel. Uh, and part of me didn't really care because people usually don't use it anyway. But I said, I'll just go investigate. Maybe I've done something incorrect. Even though, as I've said before, I usually just upload something and then jump off of here after it's been uploaded. So I go to the notification settings or the AdSense account, and it's like being a maze. Like first they say we have not been able to locate your billing address, right? And then that's followed up by them mentioning how supposedly they sent me the pin that's supposed to enable monetization in June of 2017, which means that they apparently do have my billing address, but I guess forgot it. So I click on the verify part, and then they said they sent me another pin that should arrive in, I guess, 3 to 4 business days. And again, that was annoying, right? But it's not something I would get that upset over. I mean, it happens. People, uh, the website changes its settings more times than I change certs. So then I decided to go and look and see if maybe, this is the full extent of obnoxiousness. But I found out that I was also demonetized, like just in general. And I got really confused. So I went in my settings again, and I have no copyright strikes or community strikes. I have acted completely consistent with how I acted before getting monetized, and they just took it away. Like just out of nowhere. And I like how deceptive they were. They were like, "Super chat has been disabled." I was like, all right, whatever. And then you log in and you're trying to upload the video, and you're like, "Where's the monetization part? What's going on?" So yeah, that's annoying. But again, this is these websites always find a way to screw somebody over. I'm glad I don't make anything off of here because I probably would actually be upset. Like at this point, it's kind of like what's a good example? It's like being because I don't really make anything off of here. Being demonetized is kind of the equivalent of being, I don't know, maybe hit in the stomach by like a car door versus like if I was actually getting paid off of here, it would be the equivalent of getting shot or stabbed or something, more brutal. But since this website already ignores me for the most part, it's cool. I just think it's funny when you act consistent, you get punished for it. Such is the life of a content creator, huh? You put a lot of effort into things, people don't watch it. You treat the website in a manner that is respectful to their guidelines, and then you get punished anyway. It's a really topsy turvy world we have here with the way this site tends to work. I put up the explodes video a few days back. I'm gonna make sure that that's the last time I do a video where I just go off in that manner. I was very upset because I don't like, you know, making a deal or a bargain with someone and then them kind of like choosing to try to change the stipulations, and then I'm, somehow the villain in that scenario. So I'll try from this point forward to not be involved in doing something like that again, where I just, end up using a whole bunch of profanity because that's not what I try to do, and I don't typically aim to be that vulgar. It's just when I try to communicate something in an adult type manner, without the swear words and whatnot. The message seems to get lost in translation. It seems like there are a lot of people who just, when you try to say something to them in clear English, they find a way to just like dance around it. Like I wasn't really, that upset over it after maybe Wednesday or Thursday, but it still isn't something I enjoy doing. Oh, and then YouTube is being goofy again. We have 5 people now. We have 2. That's terrific. The wonders of this website never cease to amaze me. Now it's 4. I don't even know anymore. I like how that rhymed too. I was like, we had 6 people, then it was 2, and then it was 4, and then it was 5. It just keeps flipping and changing and switching up. I gotta say, I haven't had a week that was like just never ending and how awful it was. Um, as far as like computer stuff is related, like sometimes I sit back and I say if I didn't do any of the internet stuff, I would still have the employment issue. But it was funny how it just kept on like when you add the computer stuff on top, it just piles on you. You're like, all right, well, I already have to deal with these people not hiring anybody. I mean, record levels of unemployment now. And then you factor in, YouTube out of nowhere demonetizing me, and then VA's drama that happened earlier this week. Jesus Christ! I think I've seen Alberto one time before. He showed up a few blue moons ago. Yeah, it's such a sad thing with this website. I also probably won't stream tomorrow because I have this relationship video that I really like the script for. Um, so I'll probably put that up tomorrow instead of streaming, and then I'll do another stream on Monday. Because I'm kind of in a mood of like what's a good way to say it? Like I just have gotten like lost a lot of love for doing this kind of stuff. Like when you do a stream, you're trying to interact with people in the chat. So when they don't come or if they don't comment, you're kind of like, what's the point? And again, I think the scripted stuff is just better in general because there's no stuttering. It's to the point. Um, it's not really something I'm going to sit there and get as mixed up in my words or tongue tied when saying. Yeah, these websites always find a way to play some games on you. That's why I said I just try to stay off of them. Like I'm really glad that oh, look, I haven't seen him in a long time. I think my eyes must be playing tricks on me. I know that's not Envoy. He decided to vanish for what, like a month or 2. Let me go look. The last time he left a comment. He's been gone longer from my channel than Nightwing was gone from Batman. This is crazy. We're gonna have a big reunion party. I mean, he completely vanished. We're gonna do a video called Envoy MIA where he was just like, oh, where did he go? Um, as far as the Beirut thing, probably a terrorist attack. My change in schedule is hard to keep up. I mean, the only day I really changed was doing the live shows, and that's just because I have other stuff that tends to happen around the latter hours of the day. But I still, like streams on Sunday or Monday were usually early in like the early afternoon at the latest. Yeah, our boy decided to disappear. He vanished. It's like I really haven't seen him on anything in a month. That's crazy. Like the whole month of July, he was just MIA. Do you think? No. Israel is just unless they're messing with Palestine. I don't usually say they're involved in much. Oh, of course, you watched that video. Everybody saw that. I mean, I'm just tired of these people being able to do things to me, and then I don't get to respond in a manner that is not pleasant because I don't think what was done was pleasant. Yeah, these websites are operated by a lot of people who, like I said, they think that because it's online, they can do whatever they want. Well, I told you it was going to get released, James. Also, episode 44, I would say should be done probably 2 weeks by the end of the month, probably like midway, like the 20th or something. Just I didn't do that much work on it before I got that warning, but I'll try to get around to it this week. In which area of the U.S. do you live, if I may ask? The West Coast. People love asking all kind of questions about my location, and it's always another man. What's what area of the U.S. do you live in? And then you say West Coast. What state do you live in? What city? What county? Because I remember with that snake, the Discord snake, he asked me that too, and I was like, "Why? Why do you care?" I told him what state I lived in. I don't care about saying what the state is, but I just didn't understand why he needed to know what city I was in. And he was like, "Well, fine. I don't believe that you live in California." Like, then don't. I'm not gonna lose any sleep because you want to be, non-trusting of me saying what state I live in. I don't know what video Slum Digger is talking about. I don't even want to talk to Slum Digger after he came in here trying to defend that person that made that mean video about me and trying to tell us what kind of a guy he was, and he was a great guy. Just striking up conversation. People usually ask where you're from. I don't think they ask where you're from 9 months into a conversation. Don't do the same thing that guy did in that video. Most men talk about how each other looks. It's like, yes, do you have a poll to support this? You and the rest of your supposedly straight friends evaluating how you guys look. Man, I have never done that ever. And again, all he had to say, not trip himself up, was that the people he spoke to do that because I couldn't refute it. But when you start saying most, unless you can prove it, I don't want to hear it. The video you said you would make about the VAs, thought I missed it. Well, I mean, you didn't. It came out several days ago with the picture of Goku on it. Envoy just said that's his favorite video. I mean, I don't go around saying most people do anything. I don't say that for example, most men have problems with chicks because I don't have any proof of it. I can just say a lot of them do because I've seen a whole bunch of them write comments and I can, show that as proof that it's not just me, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend as if I, have some numbers to back what I'm saying. Though I do have like some statistics I could use to support my claim. Like if I say that people like men are not getting successful relationships or whatever, I can point to the was it the like the birth rates hitting the lowest in 40 or 30 years. So there's a little bit of stuff I can use, but I still wouldn't make the mistake of saying most people because I unless I have proof of that claim, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be caught slipping. A lot is probably interchangeable with some folks. I don't know about that. I think a lot is to say more than just a few people, and most is to say you can prove it's 51% or the majority. And I can't prove it, so I don't use it. I don't know why I put that up there. The envoy decided to vanish. Yeah, it seems like most people need drama too, Slum Digger. If you read some of the stuff that was written to me on this website, let me put this on the charger. Supposed to be going to the market after this. Oh. Ah. Oh, that vid. I mean, like I said, I don't bother people on these sites. I don't know. Envoy's trying to like ask me some questions. He wants to do an interview. That's what streams always end up turning into. What's your favorite color? How old were you when you first approached a woman? What's your favorite movie? They have a whole Q&A. How tall are you? Oh, Slum Digger, you didn't get mentioned, but something you said got brought up. I was talking to my friend yesterday morning, and we were discussing how he is below average height, and he had some broad that tried to say that that was one of the reasons she didn't want to date him or something. And I told him that it doesn't. That I had someone in my chat that was trying to say that your height actually matters, and I was laughing at them because I'm above average height and I get the same result. So it's basically just this stupid thing that people use against you when you're not, whatever height they like. And then when you are whatever height they like, they like come up with some other reasons to have a problem with you. Basically making it to where it acts as an obstacle if you don't have it. And then if you do have it, you know, you're screwed anyway. No, I did not see the Tommy Lauren video. I don't pay attention to conservative commentators ever, unless they make some major headlines I can't ignore. So no Tommy Lauren, no Mark Levin, no Sean Hannity, no Ben Shapiro, no Tucker Carlson. None of, like, unless they're in the news for something, I don't see it. Like I said, politics has been really boring since March. It's just the virus and protest. And then the election cycle where one of the candidates is hiding in his basement and the other one is somehow not getting the virus after doing everything to get it. Well, that's not new, Slum Digger. They always do that. That's why you had the idiots on Twitter talking about, I believe all women unless we have evidence to support that they're lying. So he's literally saying that he believes guilty until proven innocent. There's a clip of Cenk where he's like talking about the Fox News stuff, and he was mentioning how something to the effect of, because statistically the majority of times women make out allegations, it's true, we need to believe them or something, which I think is a really horrible metric system, because the whole point of cases is that people look into it. They take each one and understand it's a separate thing than, other cases, and then go from there. So if you say, oh, we're going to believe you now because we have statistics to prove all these other cases were true, I think that's really dangerous, but whatever. I don't have 4 million subs, so I have to be quiet. I'm not powerful enough to complain. I saw you were talking about politics and I found myself quite in agreement. He said, beyond this is insane. He made this weird comment about the effect of black people. That they don't have the diversity. Yeah, U.S. International policy has been pretty garbage for a very long time. Never thought I'd live to see the day the president that gets the Nobel Peace Prize starts 5 wars after getting that award. It's like, you didn't enjoy just being in Iraq and Afghanistan. Let's put you in Syria and Yemen and Somalia and Pakistan and Libya. The U.S. is run by clowns, and the voters just they don't even care. And then if we're friendly with another country, we act as their little butt buddy. So like we got into Yemen because Saudi Arabia's best friend government got toppled by the Houthi rebels. We're like, we'll back you up. We'll kill all these innocent people for no reason because we're friends. He is kind of right, only in the sense that democratic influence is widespread among African Americans, but obviously that does not mean we aren't diverse. He put his foot in his mouth on that one. No, African Americans vote for Democrats, 90% of the time in presidential elections. But the problem is with people like Owens or any of the rest of the like black conservatives, they get attacked not only for being conservative, which is par for the course, they also get attacked for being the ethnicity that they are and supporting what they support. Basically saying you're not allowed to think differently from me because we're of the same ethnicity. That's why I got as annoyed as I did with all those Candace Owens has a bought a pick, because like you don't see them doing that to people like Shapiro or Levin or any of these other conservatives. They get to have authentic, incorrect opinions, which hers are bought. God forbid someone have come to a different conclusion than myself. They can't do that authentically. It's just like that idiot that tried to say that people who didn't like The Last Jedi were mentally ill or were blinded by nostalgia. Like there was you could not legitimately dislike this movie. Can be questioned by your political leaning. I just think it's really ridiculous that you have to support one party based on your race. You have a lot of we call it black conservatives who are like anti-abortion and whatnot. I mean, those are Republican beliefs apparently. Even though we already talked about how hypocritical a lot of them are, where it's like you'll sit here and tell me all this BS about we shouldn't kill unborn lives, but then you support bombing babies in the Middle East. Like what? America government, both left and right, is subjugated by a ruthless military. And yeah, No, we already talked about the military budget. I mean, I listen to all kinds of different music, so yeah, they love to. It's really weird, actually. I don't agree with the you like anime one being bad because I've seen a lot of blacks that are into like Naruto and Dragon Ball, so I'm not entirely sure that one fits. It's usually just the political stuff and if like general life choices. Like if you speak a certain way, you'll have some who get upset with you over that. They like the political division among blacks, especially with other races, mainly whites. It keeps the game going. Actually, everybody likes anime. I never seen black people question. So yeah, I've never seen it either. James, I like every time, even with a lot of I guess blacks that were not into politics, they like cartoons. So I don't agree with that one. I think the safest things you can get into that people won't mess with you over are media. There are a lot of blacks that like comic books, obviously the movies. You know, it's usually media that is the one thing that's safe. Now, when you start talking about being a Republican and not supporting one of those different groups, that's where they start acting crazy. And they love when you're part of when you have like issues with chicks. They love lumping you in those groups with all those white boys that have problems with chicks. Like all I did was get on here and say I'm disappointed in the decisions of broads, and they made me out to be the next Ted Bundy. I didn't rape anybody. I didn't murder anyone. I didn't put my hands on anybody. But because I said something that was critiquing the manner in which I don't know broads went about getting with people, I was suddenly now part of the romance crew. I already said before I don't have a problem with some of the Republicans that are in Congress. Like I did multiple videos defending Susan Collins because that lady actually votes in an independent manner, and the Democrats who were sucking her off when she saved Obamacare now hate her because of a Supreme Court vote that literally was going to get passed anyway. So I don't really have a problem with Republicans just for being Republicans. I came about maybe 5 or 6 I have no issue with. And as much as we may dream, Justin just won't join our romance team. Yeah, because you have an opinion. I could see if I was on their forums or I put their their name in my title, like VVS does. But just for saying you don't like what chicks did, you're part of the crew. You just want sex, even though you said before you wanted to actually do long term stuff with a broad, like get married and have kids, which I guess technically would include screwing a few times, but there's still a long term greater goal than that. You just want sex. Yeah, whatever. We have him all figured out, even though he wants something completely different from the rest of us. There's a bunch of dingbats. Like they don't even. What's the point of even making a video if they're just gonna like completely bulldoze over all of what you said to say you're part of some group you don't even hang out with? I mean, I got 2 different romance videos planned. I have the one on uh, the magic romance year explained, where it's basically talking about these people who it's kind of like the She's Not Coming stream, if you remember that stream. These people who try to say that there's going to be this magic year where suddenly people who got turned down over and over and over again are now going to meet this perfect partner who they're going to find so attractive that It's going to erase years of being treated like trash. He makes his streams and script his vids. The day will come when we'll be his. He claims he won't, but we can dream. And one day he'll join our romance team. Yeah, I'd rather drink bleach before I go on one of those forums. Please talk to me about chicks all day, and I'm good. It's funny too. The only time I ever talk to other men online about this is if I do a stream. I don't like. That's it. A channel called is also who speaks about U.S. imperialism, but strangely is support. Well, I've never heard of this Synergy News person before, but if he's supporting Trump policy, and by that I mean like if he's supporting him wanting to get out of one of these wars or like trying to have peace with North Korea, then maybe I could listen to him. But if he's actually sitting there and going, no, it's a good thing that we're still over here with him because he's trying to, I'm good. I don't need to hear any of that. Please join the romance team. James, please join us. We offer you nothing except a bunch of male companionship. Has anyone ever seen Metropolis 200? Is a really good anime movie. I haven't seen it. I'm a band envoy. He's over here talking about joining the Republican team, joining the grand old party. And nah, I'm good on this romance stuff. But like James, I never thought when I like started making the different videos that you would automatically like. I didn't hear about that group until 3 years ago, and I made the first video 5 years ago. So there was like a good 2 years where I didn't even know what that team was. But I never thought I'd see the day that I'd automatically be part of a group just because I had a critical opinion of the choices of the opposite sex. And that's why when I did the Dehumanizes Men video, I said, if broads came on here and said they were upset, at not getting with the man, nobody would say, this means she's automatically part of our team, right? No, nobody would do that. She would be treated as an individual who had a specific grievance with the decisions made by, contemporary members of the opposite sex. They wouldn't try to lump her into, some group of people that she has nothing to do with. I don't know if James saw that snake video where the guy said it's okay for people to put up your address on your streams, but then if you write nasty comments behind a fake picture, that's not okay for people to do that to you. I hold my middle fingers to both parties. No, you were trying to say I was joining the Republicans. I don't know what that means. Because I've never signaled any interest in siding with them. I said they have a couple of good politicians, just like the Democrats do, except less. And, that was it. And people just leave the stream. I had 7 and it was 5 and it was 2. That like Jesus Christ. Oh my God, my numbers. I thought when we got rid of the ads, people would show up more. I guess not. They're like, where's the commercial? Let me see this video about something that has nothing to do with the topic of this stream before it comes on, or else I'm leaving. I'm withdrawing. Yeah, it's just sad that I don't know. I've gotten to a point where I really have just kind of accepted that people don't actually listen to what I have to say. So I'll do a video explaining something, and then like the two people that actually hear what I'm saying will listen, and then everybody else just like whatever. Um, People come and go. Yeah, they do. Has that VA attempted to reconcile with you and reach out? Yeah, we have seemingly come to an agreement. I'm cautiously optimistic. That's why I'm not as pissed off anymore. But again, I'm not going to say that, it's like a concrete done deal. The next coming couple of days, we'll figure that out. I just know that last Saturday when I saw that message, I was really disgusted. I think I treat people very well when they're involved with stuff I do, and I am transparent with my intentions. So whenever there seems to be some kind of like flip in the script, it's on the part of the other person. Again, I don't know for sure, Envoy. It's complicated, is what I'm saying. I need to know, or I will know rather in the next couple of days. Oh, Envoy's over there like I can't believe it. Envoy's reacting with more surprise to this than when Optimus Prime came back at the end of the third season of Transformers. He's reacting the same way that Tien did when Goku saved him from Drone. I must be dreaming. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, where did Ruben go? He just vanished. He hasn't shown up in a while. He was here, I think, on Monday, and that was it. They actually have a thing on Twitter where they're like bragging about the fact that women with autism do better than men with autism, or some kind of weird like game of one-upsmanship. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, how bored do you have to be to sit here and like brag about what gender with the same mental illness is better off? Yeah, James, they're really doing that. And I was laughing because it's like that's how people have nothing to do. Like I'm sitting over here trying to do a show, do some documentaries, do some videos, analyzing this ridiculous stuff with these chicks. Like at least I'm like attempting to be productive. They're not doing anything other than writing nonsense all day long, every day. They're on Twitter from 6 in the morning to 1 the next day. Jesus Christ! Look at me. I have titties and I have the same mental illness as you, but I am better because men like me still. It's like, yeah, as long as you have this, if they don't care about this. And no, I'm not saying people who are autistic are crazy. I'm doing this to refer to the mind. So I don't need anybody trying to like cut that out and go, see, look what he said about this group. I'm not Butch Hartman. I'm not going to sit here and smear people who have a like mental disability. Now I have to go. By the way, I congratulate you for the channel. Very valuable content. Thanks for the chat. Take care. Cheers from Italy. I'm sorry for not. Oh, it's fine, but I wouldn't say congratulate me for the channel because in the last week I got demonetized. Had a new like scandal. I just it has been one drama after another. Like when I logged on the AdSense, I felt like I was in the maze. They're like, this pin has not been confirmed. You did not send this. Like, okay, well, when did it send? In June of 2017. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll try to verify it. It has now been sent. It's like, but I thought you said you didn't have my address. Now I got no ads. I felt like just, damn this website. I see why people run those other like different accounts. Like I don't like these other sites for no luck on it. No, none at all whatsoever. Like you follow all their rules and they still punish you. Just can't win. I remember they used to really brag about that. I can't wait till I get 1,000 subs so I can get paid on YouTube. I'm only getting $2 every like 3 months. Well, it's still something. Oh, they just took it away from me. Well, damn. I mean, I didn't rely on their coins anyway, but damn, if you're gonna give it to someone, why would you get rid of it out of the blue? Oh, this site is crazy. It's run by just I don't even know what's like. It's like every website is trying to disenfranchise me. Like it's still better than the other ones, but it that my happiness is wavering. That reminds me, I still have to do that video on like why Discord is a piece of garbage. I'm debating whether or not to make videos. Well, if you think you have something interesting or that you want to share or whatever, then do it. Well, let me shut up. I don't give people advice unless they ask for it. Yeah, me and my friend were speaking yesterday. He was like, I'm very much about to just quit talking to chicks. And I said, well, you do what you want to do. Because my thing with that is whenever you get to a point where you genuinely believe you'll be just as good sitting at home as you would talk, like going to the mall or something and talking to a bunch of them, like you would get the same result from not bothering as you would from trying. That's when you know it's time to hang up the hat. But you know how it is when you're a man, you get punished for everything and blamed for everything. That's how the internet seems to work. It was funny. I had somebody who was like, "Oh, do you want sympathy?" I was like, "No, I just want people to look at a situation and all of its facts, and then figure out who actually caused the problem." Because and I wish more people would recognize the fact that we're not as in control of our lives as some of would give us credit for. It's like, yeah, you determine what you eat, where, whatever. But there are different points when you have people who, in certain scenarios, exhibit more power over you than yourself. AJ Envoy walking down the street. AJ Envoy. He walked down the road and got punished. And then he appeared on my stream to complain. He wrote a paragraph and I thought he was insane. AJ Envoy walking down the street. AJ Envoy. He took a stroll down the YouTube road and came on my channel demanding a passcode. I just gave up 2 weeks ago. I concluded that getting into a relationship is just impossible. Well, yeah, but what gets me is that people act like when you say that, you're just this negative person when it's based off of your experiences that you feel that way. Because I know that before I put in 100+ applications and heard nothing back for the most part, uh, I didn't believe it was that difficult to get a job. But that's kind of the thing about being positive versus being realistic, that there are people who want you to be positive to such a ridiculous extent that you throw out the real world. Would you do one on Reddit and why it sucks? I haven't used Reddit in a long time, but I'll go and look at my messages and get some material on it. We're gonna make a whole series of videos on like why I hate Facebook, why I hate Twitter, why I hate Discord. The Wikipedia one is crazy. Like that was really a 12-page script that I wrote for that video. No other website that I do that much for and got burned that hard by. No, Amazon I don't really have a problem with. I've never used TikTok. Yeah, me and social media, it's really funny. It's like I have these periods where I'm on there and then I just get off. And then there's some places I never bothered with. Like I don't have TikToks or OnlyFans or uh I had a Twitch, but not like an account to stream or anything, just to watch and comment on somebody else's stuff. So it's funny, a lot of just like with the dating websites. I haven't actually been on a dating website, like registered an account on one of those in at least 3 years, if not longer. Like since 2016 or 15 or something. I think 2016, which is even more ironic because that literally means I was on like dating websites for less than a year at most, like a few months. I was like, yeah, to hell with this. Just like with Tinder, you know how it is. You keep swiping right on all these different broads, you never get a response. I'm like, what the hell is the point of that? What incentive do I have to stay on a website where I'm willing to talk to these people and then they give me the middle finger at every turn? And then when I get off of here, this is why you're not with anyone because you have too high standards. Like, what the hell are you talking about? I just went and accepted like a enough women to make up like 5 or 6 basketball teams. Like, yeah, people are crazy. They don't even care. They just say things. When's the last time I used Amazon? Last time I ordered something on there, it's been a long. I remember when I was in 5th grade, I used to order stuff on there. I would give one of my relatives money, and then they would order it on their account. Like you would pay them to order it, you would give them the money to order it. So I actually have nostalgia for Amazon, but I haven't used it recently, like in the last couple of years. Some yo-yos. That's what this chick thing is. Like we should all get together and do a live stream and talk about our experiences. Experiences with what? Because I don't think anybody else in here has edited Wikipedia. Certainly not for as long as I did. That was crazy. Just the way they talked to me in those last few years. So we got to cut the umbilical cord. We got to get out of this abusive relationship. I don't know. It's like in the last 2 years, my patience for a lot of this stuff has really run thin. Like, um, I used to be able to just have VAs keep like quitting over and over, um, because I just accepted that that's the failure of people. This thing where they sign up to something and don't want to stay on it for that long. But it was just the fact that it was someone who I had trusted to stay on it, basically saying they weren't interested anymore. Something to that effect just like was driving me crazy this week. I was like, really? And then with the Discord snake, I could put up with talking to that person for months before, but now I was just like, yeah, after a week, I'm like, I'm good. We're cutting that off because he just kept doing stupid stuff. Envoy, I'm gonna ask you for your address, and if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna follow you around until I see you go inside of a house and lock the door behind you. I mean, like, that's clown stuff. When you get to a point where someone that you claim you respect or like or whatever the hell says, I don't want to give this to you. And then as opposed to just accepting the person doesn't want to give it to you, you use an alternate method to get it. And then you wonder why that person would be pissed. No, Envoy, it was a joke. I'm saying that that's like the same kind of tactic where someone you try to ask somebody for some information they consider private, they don't want to give it to you, so you get it through an alternate means. I was saying it reminds me of how Green Goblin found out Spider-Man's identity, where he followed him around until he saw him take his mask off. He was just swinging around, and then Green Goblin's like, "Yeah, take your mask off. Let's see who you are." Yeah, and then he takes it off. He's like, "What?" I left a lot of stuff out of that Snake video. There was so much more I could have put in there. Like I totally left out that guy and his like nostalgia obsession, where basically you can't criticize anything that you saw this year because you didn't see it 10 years ago or whatever the hell. I was debating doing a whole video on that. I still might do that video where I just talk about how ridiculous that is. Like I said, I've never, whether it's been with something I've written of my show, I never sit back and say to myself, somebody would like this if they saw it when they were 5 instead of 25. Like that doesn't do me any favors as a person who writes. But people don't want to accept the idea that the things they like can be critiqued in a legitimate manner, which I think is really destructive to them personally. Because if you get to a point where you start to avoid any and all critique, or you try to make it seem like all of it is invalid, um, you're not doing yourself any good. Like even with the person that was doing the video about me, I said my biggest issue with that was he didn't actually critique anything I say. It was just, now I don't like you, so you must be gay and all this other stuff. So I just said, that's not really about not handling criticism. It's talking about things that have nothing to do with your supposed distaste for someone as a content creator. Yeah, it's sad that people choose to act in manners like that. But again, this is how the internet works. You get a lot of strange characters on here. I just wish that I didn't have the burden of seeing them so often. Yeah, I'll probably address some more of this stuff maybe in another upload. And I have a lot of just scripted video ideas that I'll write out and then I'll sit back and do them and be satisfied with the result. I definitely want to do that magic romance year one because there are a lot of people who try to, claim that if you just hold out long enough, there's going to be this special broad that shows up who's like perfect or whatever. And that's really just going to be based on the idea, or at least my opinion, that nobody can promise you a woman unless they're abroad themselves and they're offering to date you at some point. Outside of that, I just don't think it's reasonable or safe or a good idea to try and suggest that. And I've seen a lot of shows that push that, where they're like, eventually you will find someone. I don't enjoy that premise because it keeps insisting on this idea. Like they'll talk about how men who complain about chicks are entitled, but I'm not the one saying that someone is eventually going to do this to me because I don't know. It's not my place to call that. So that'll be an interesting idea to discuss. God. people like so crazy on here. My chat is dead. They all went to sleep and passed out and vanished and disappeared. I tell you, YouTube is such a weird website. You'll have a chat of like 7 or 8 people, and then it just drops to less than half of that out of nowhere. You'd be like, what am I doing wrong? Where are they going? It's like whatever. People just they vanish. But yeah, being demonetized sucks. Like I wasn't making anything off of here, but it's still annoying that you have to. Yeah, I don't get what's up with the numbers, James. People just show up and jump out. That's like a running theme with streams where people will not appear. Like the biggest confidence buster for me as a creator are streams, because you'll do like a video, right, and you'll get like 100 views, 200 views, and there are a lot of channels where it's considered okay or good to get like maybe 10% of the number of subs you have to watch. So if you have a channel that has like 1 million subs and 100,000 people watch a video, that's still considered good. But when you do like a stream and you have, let's say, I saw one person who has 1 million subs, they had 1,000 people watching. It's like, where the hell, like, where's the whole other, several thousands of people that's supposed to be? Shane Dawson was doing a stream. He had 200,000 people watching. It was crazy. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. This website is. This isn't the first time I felt let down by it, and I'll take having only 3 people watch a stream if it means being able to make a little bit off of it. Maybe different time zones and stuff. Yeah, it can be that, but I just think people don't care. Like I used to say that as a way of like justifying their lack of interest, but I'm not even gonna bother trying to explain it anymore. People will watch who they want to watch. I had this one guy. He was like, "I haven't seen you in so long." I was like, "Well, I didn't go anywhere. You chose to not watch me." Yeah, they love to find ways to make stuff seem different than it is. Well, it is what it is. Which actually, that was funny. That phrase, "It is what it is," was trending on Twitter. I think 2 or 3 days ago, and I was laughing because that's the only phrase I just keep like I've noticed myself to use repeatedly. So I don't know if I have anything left to say. I think that's pretty much it. Since we have a comatose chat. Enjoy a nice dinner tonight. Only if Envoy decides to write something else before I decide to end my stream. Very, very low turnout. We only got one mod here. Well, I mean, one of the mods lives in another country, so he's probably asleep at this point. I just think it's funny that you try to like schedule like I always hear, "Oh my god, this is too late for me," and then you make it earlier and they don't show up anyway. A cult-like fan base. I mean, it is what it is. I don't even like call people my fan. I just say supporter or subscriber. Because I think if I were to say I have fans, it would seem like I'm egotist, or it would go to my head or something. So that's my terminology. It's just really annoying that you try to like do things to, I guess, appeal to more people on that like your stuff, and they just decide to like poo-poo it basically. Like, oh, you're doing a stream, I'll make sure to not show up. You made a video, I'll make sure to not watch it, or thumb it up, or leave a comment. I remember I had that one joke about how I did a stream one day, and this troll left a comment, and then I looked at the rate, and it was one up or one down vote, and I was like, I have 2,000 subs, and nobody could thumb this up besides me. I was like, the troll remembered to engage. They hit one of the buttons, and they left a comment. Told you, you get no breaks on this website. It's always somebody screwing with you. I've had trolls on videos with less than 20 views. It's crazy. Where all these people come from. Oh, before we exit, there's another thing. So I had in the last 2 or 3 months, 2 users who I first interacted with. I've never seen Money Savage before, but I had 2 people who I first interacted with when I was in 11th grade. And yeah, I don't get it. Well, that's why I turned it off, James. I just said the hell with it. But I had 2 people who I interacted with in 11th grade and never saw them after this come on my channel. One of them donated, the other one like said something twice. And I just thought to myself, it's like, you guys were completely fine with ignoring that I existed for 5 years, and now suddenly you're coming back and trying to have like a return. Like who is this? Like people really cannot move on with their lives. Because I'm telling you, I never go on any of these people's their Twitter, their Facebook. I don't go on Facebook at all anyway, but just I don't go on any of their social media. So it's like, it's really weird for me to see individuals who you just kind of accepted were part of your existence that's over, now suddenly start appearing and be like, hey, remember me? Let's reconnect. Well, one of them I spoke to, the other one I barely spoke to, and they both showed up on different occasions. And there was actually one before that who, when the virus first broke out, in I think it was March or April, I was streaming and they typed hello and I recognized their name and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen this person since 2016. Like, why are they coming back? Like, what's with this weird resurgence? Like, why are we all nostalgic for me now? Like, remember me? It's like, no, I don't. Go away. That is crazy. My least favorite saga. This is my least favorite saga too. YouTube's like, thank you for following our guidelines, but because we want to screw with people, we're going to demonetize you. But what? But why? Why do they want to reconnect after 5 years of no attempts whatsoever? Like, I don't do that with anybody. I'm not going to wait half a decade to maybe missed you. Yeah, well, you could have. You didn't. You just woke up when they were like, man, remember that person I knew years ago? Let me go find them on the internet. Where is he? Where did he go? The Monetized Saga is a classic. Yeah. This is going to be like my clone saga. Nobody's even going to get that reference, is the sad part. They really got rid of my stuff. They want to befriend. Well, again, one of them I actually did speak to. Like, one of them is pretending that I don't know who she is. And if they are who I think they are, I was friendly toward them and then they acted ridiculous. And then that was why it ended, or I didn't try to like interact with them afterward. It's just weird to me that you would get to a point of accepting this person, you know, you're not going to reach out to them, you're done with them. And then here they come. Remember, whoa, here she comes. That's what they're doing. Like, remember me? It's like, yeah, but why are you here? It's like people form these weird attachments that I don't really understand. Like, I just think you do yourself a disservice when you get to a point where you can't just accept you will never see this person again, or like this person is not someone that you can't live without or that you can't go without speaking to again. Because I remember when I was in what was that, 11th, 12th grade, I actually did try to reach out to some of my former classmates, and I just said the hell with it because they didn't really seem that receptive to what I was trying to do, like, talk to them. So I just said, all right, whatever. I don't know who that is. I said that. He really said big fan. I don't have fans. They might have got excited that they saw you streaming. What kind of excitement? Do I need to play the Shawn Michaels theme song? They see me walking. They hear me talking. Like, just came out of nowhere and said I'm a big fan. Yeah, that's actually a running gag with the channel where people you've never seen before, like, I've been watching for so long. Because there was a guy who did that. When was that? It was like I did a video on some foreign country, and he was like, "Start a gaming channel. You're not. Women are getting 1 million views, but you're talking about things that people like and nobody cares." Like, who are you? No, Envoy doesn't even live in California. I don't know what he's talking about. Besides, it looks like my congressperson might end up. That's really crazy. I was always thinking that if I ever did run for office, I'd challenge my Congress woman, but it looks like she's gonna end up being Biden's VP. That's really insane. Like, out of the 300 plus people in the House, you have to pick the one that represents me. So now I can't run against her. The seat's going to be vacant, and then they're going to put somebody in there that is automatically going to win because people don't like to kick out. Like, they like to be fair. They want to give the new person a chance. It's like, damn it. Because I was doing all this opposition research, like gathering up her votes, and be like, she voted for this and that and this and that and this and then now they ruined it. Well, potentially, we don't know for sure yet. So she's gonna make me my 2022 bid to get rid of her a lot harder, if to get rid of whoever represents that seat a lot harder if she's not in it. That is crazy. Damn, they punched a hole right in my plan. I love when the progressives are talking to each other on Twitter. They're like, it's like they're giving sermons. They're preaching about how they're going to bring about the fall of the congressman. Like, I'm going to beat this congressperson. I've got my foot on their neck, and then they get smashed every election cycle. It's like, we're winning. We just lost 30 seats out of 31, but we got that one seat. We're going to bring about the fall of the Congress. Every time I remember that phrase, I just picture them like falling to the ground. Like, oh, I've been overwhelmed. Oh my God. Yeah, what a wacky week. I will say the only thing I probably would regret about this week is the fact I didn't get to put up any like edited DB stuff. Because I was trying to have one Dragon Ball video a week, and I just kind of said, not in the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Like, I feel fatigued. Like, what's the point of me applying all these things other than to just keep tallying up the number of times they say nothing? I won't even do the next excrement employers video because it's just like, my point's been proven that these places are not hiring anybody. The most compelling voice. Well, I already told you my position on that is I wouldn't do it if it were mine. But I think people should have the right to it. You feel burned out. Yeah, I'm tired of applying and then like no one says anything back other than, and then if they do say something back, They give you the runaround. Like you apply to 100 plus places, you hear back from maybe 10 of them, and then only one of them wants to meet you in person, and they tell you that you have to compete with 50 people for 4 positions. What's weird is that no, I didn't say, I showed it. I put the screenshots up, and they still deny you. Also, a lot of jobs not doing the whole work from home thing. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to get involved with this unstable computer stuff. That's one of my subs was trying to recommend, and I was like, dude, if the whole point of having computer crap is that it's supposed to be a side thing to a regular stable thing. That's why people don't get rid of their regular position until they're completely secure with the computer thing. You have to compete like it's the Hunger Games. Yeah. I mean, and it's like, at what point am I like vindicated? Do I need to do 200 of those? 300? Like, I just can't work up the ineptitude or the delusion to think that if I write out any more of those things, it's going to actually make a damn difference. Like, it's really similar to the chick stuff, except it's worse because this is actually something I need that these places just don't care to give me. And again, just like the chick stuff, when you come on here and say and show proof of your efforts, you still get blamed for it anyway. So I said the internet is full of a bunch of people who, you know, couldn't care less about actually listening to reason and logic. They just go off emotion. You didn't get hired because of your hair, even though none of these damn places actually know what you look like except the one that spoke with you in person. You didn't get hired because you went for positions that were above your qualifications, even though the positions themselves said you met their qualifications. Well, it is what it is with you're screwed at the end of it. Because, like I said, these people are able to get away with this stuff because they're not affected by it. So you have to. That's why I said you have to deal with the legacy of their decisions. So me getting fatigued from to I don't even want to apply anymore isn't me just saying I'm a quitter. It's getting disgruntled with the aftermath of the choices made by these employers to not even schedule an interview, let alone hire somebody. Same thing with the chick stuff. In the aftermath of them saying no over and over and over again, uh, and the only difference being how long it takes for them to say no, you just don't feel like bothering with them anymore. So I said people really don't like when you look at a situation and say, this other person did this to me, because it pokes a hole in this idea that if you just try hard enough, you can have whatever you want. You can have your dreams. If you just keep trying. They don't like when you objectively look at what's being done and say, maybe this just isn't working. The chick stuff can be over it anyway, but it's all part of the same pattern where you try and then people who weren't there tell you that you're doing something wrong. Oh, you applied for 100 positions. They must have been above your qualification level. Oh, you put them on the screen. Well, maybe it's your video, like the idiot in the video said. Maybe it's your videos that are causing you to not get hired because I'm so famous that everyone has heard of me. I would be the first person on YouTube to ever get hired in real life after making videos. That's why I say I don't like talking to people about this stuff, because they just say a bunch of stupid crap. Like I basically gave up on the idea I could have intelligent conversations with people um, about real life scenarios. Like, yeah, that's funny, Envoy, but the idea that a video stops somebody from getting hired, I don't buy it. Well, that's what I'm saying, James. It's just stupid. They're not actually saying things that are based in reality. It's just people saying dumb crap, and then like that person gets surprised when I cut them off. But that's because I don't want to talk to people who look at a situation where I go out of my way to change it, and then they blame me for it staying the same. You know, you had that dingbat in that video talking about I'm not an echo chamber. It's like, look, I've accepted people don't agree on politics, on what shows, movies they like, whatever. When we're talking about things that directly negatively impact real life things in my life, or some like something that directly affects me, I don't want to hear anything about your different damn opinion. You can take your different opinion and cram it up your backside. If I tell you about me applying to 100 places and you try to spin that into that's somehow my fault for not being hired, when most of them won't even sit me down for an interview, you know, I don't need to speak to you anymore. When I tell you about chicks, you know, approaching 90 some number of them, and then getting turned down over and over after they sit up there and write all that nonsense about, oh, you're so nice and you're so funny, and you know, you can take your different opinion and go somewhere else. There's just certain stuff I don't need to hear someone try to like spin into being my fault. If I have a project where I tell every voice actor you won't get paid, and then one of them is completely fine with that until one day, like once one blue moon, they decide that's a problem, and then you say that that's my fault, I don't want to speak to you. Like some of us are really sick of getting blamed for things that we didn't do. God, they act like I'm supposed to jump in these people's skin and make them hire me. And again, with all this stuff, I show proof. I have screenshots, and like, what's the point of even doing an edited video anymore? Where I show screenshots of I'm just gonna have people say it's my opinion that you did not try hard enough or you did something wrong. It's like, dingbat, what do you do with job applications other than answer the questions? If these people don't say anything back, like, what are you talking about? They think of it as excuses, but the excuse is what they're trying to give. They're trying to rationalize other people acting like demons. James, on your application, you didn't lie, so you'll never get hired anywhere. Even somewhere that says you don't need to have any prior experience. Like, how does that work? Oh, James, we know you applied to over 100 places, but you know it's somehow your fault that they don't say anything except for 10 of them, and then out of the 10 of them, only one of them actually schedules an interview, and then at the interview they have they inform you that you're applying for 4 positions with 50 other people looking for the same 4 positions. You were supposed to beat all 49 of those people for one of those positions. I'm just sick of getting like being the hangman for this stuff. Like we need to just make like a caricature of me where I'm like I've got something tied around my neck, and I'm just like this. Yeah, Envoy loves doing that. He likes to just type my first name in the chat like he's about to say something momentous. Ever gone interview and had the other applicants sitting in the waiting room with you? That happened to me. Yeah, last year. This is all your fault, person that's trying to change things. Told you every one of those people has a different opinion about that stuff. Same thing with the college situation. Like, if I had been in, like, if I was in, like, let's say ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, and I flunked out of school, that would totally be my fault. I wouldn't even, like, try to pretend that that wasn't. But I didn't graduate from college because I couldn't afford it. And I couldn't get any support. And it was the most aggravating thing in the world to do all that damn studying and not be able to advance my education because of some pieces of paper that I didn't own and that nobody my age, unless they're supported by relatives or rich, would own. And I still was blamed for that by Triple L. There has to be something you can say. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to be able to tell these people what to do with their own money. Oh, yeah. I mean, they don't even give a damn, like, to even think when they speak, but then they want you to talk to them. They want me to, like, sit here and listen to all of this trash and then not respond with my own way by cutting all of them out. But, like, seriously, what is the point of talking to people like that? Like, how demented of a person do you have to be to tell a student who was passing, a student that went from a community college to a university, oh, you didn't graduate because you weren't rich enough, and that's your fault. Even though you did all the damn studying, I thought school was based on academics. I was under the impression that if you had the grades, you could actually make it. Silly me, I was tricked. Well, it was in a different state, but again, the point is, I did what would be expected of a student to do, which is pass all of their classes, or at least pass enough to advance. And it's like it still got turned into hangman. I still had a bimbo who tried to convince me that I did something wrong somehow, that I had the power to control what other people did with their own money. But that's why I said I'm sick of getting blamed for everything that happens. Every damn thing that happens, it's my fault. Apply for 100 jobs. It's your fault you're unemployed. Pass all of your classes and not be able to further your education because of not having the funds for it. It's your fault. This is why I don't talk to most people about this stuff. They just say a bunch of dumb crap. I'm gonna just make a list of like all the things that if someone ever says it's my fault, I'm done talking to them. Because I'm sick of playing the blame game. I'm not gonna feel guilty because somebody else made a stupid decision. Like I said, if it was any other grade prior to college, and I said I dropped out or I didn't finish, it would be, oh, that person was stupid. They didn't take studying seriously. But that wasn't me. Yes, Envoy. I've got a bunch of different scripts. I just have to finish writing one. I'll try to put one out this week. God, I want to do like a memoir called A Real Life Crucifixion and just show all this little nonsense that's said or written to me about these different things. Imagine doing I've already talked about how dumb this stuff is. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. I just think it's funny that all these people, like, they always find a way to rationalize saying this crap to me. Like when I was dealing with the thing with this voice actor, right? I already communicated in that video why that was. I didn't understand like the position that they were coming from, right? Because I had communicated what my intentions were from the start. And I had this person on Saturday go, oh, they're trying to move on to other things, like as if like trying to get me to empathize. But it's like it doesn't work because they were shown empathy for 2 years and they did something that was completely selfish. You know, like this stuff is not okay. And no amount of people speaking in whispery tones or flowery BS is going to change that. That's why people like when they're writing all that stuff about, oh, he's gonna like rape somebody and all that, they're doing that because they know these are legitimate critiques of chicks. They know that it's crazy that somebody could sit here and try to empathize with this group of people and have them say all that nonsense about how much they like him or whatever, and then like end up with this scenario. So they have to make you seem worse than you actually are. Now I'm hideous and I'm so nerdy and all this trash because they have to retcon the reason for why I got turned down as often as I did. Yeah, wait, that was written somewhere. I don't have a screenshot of it, so you have to take my word for it. But I mean, I you saw the guy in my video, so you will kill yourself because you couldn't get with the woman. I told you all that stuff is written because they have to make you seem worse than you actually are. Because this is what is done to men online. When you are dealing with some level of adversity, people try to join up with that adversity. They try to side with the antagonist. They try to oppose you as much as they can for no reason. Before we wrap this up, I just want to add this in here. With Triple L, I gave the example of how she told me about getting like shoved into some um, closet with some guy by some group of friends and dealing with the depression of losing some relative when she was underage. And when I'm being told all this stuff about how sad she is with these different things that have happened to her, I don't say, well, you'll eventually move on from that relative's death. And I'm sure those people who locked you up feel horrible about it. I didn't do any of that because I'm not a prick. I'm not going to sit here and try to justify horrible behavior or awful things that happen to somebody. But when she was told about things that happened to me, like this broad going around calling me some name, she probably feels horrible for doing. It's like it doesn't matter how they feel; they still did it. But you see the difference in how one is treated over the other, right? When something happens to her, take her at her word. Don't try to make the other person seem like they're repenting for horrible stuff they did. But if something happened to you, oh, those people are, you know, they deserve to be forgiven and all this. Like it's, you know, I'm tired of that game. But like I said, it's just be as antagonistic to me as possible. So I'm about to get off of here. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm cautiously optimistic about the VA situation. I'm annoyed by YouTube demonetizing me, but again, I don't do this for money. Um, and it's just an obnoxious like year and set of circumstances, and it's like it always finds a way to just get slightly more annoying, which I guess is an accomplishment. How ridiculous can we get before the year's over? Let's find out. So, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it.